Hey there, Zack Henderson here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a close look at one of the most underutilized kettlebell exercises, and certainly one with the most ridiculous name, the Bulgarian Goat Bag Swing. This is another exercise invented and popularized by Coach Dan John, and the story goes that he gave this exercise this crazy name as an unofficial trademark of sorts to keep people from plagiarizing his ideas. Now that I've given credit where credit is due, for the rest of this video, I'm going to be referring to this exercise simply as the Belly Hinge. We know that in kettlebell training and fitness and performance in general, developing a strong, consistent hip hinge is a top priority for new lifters. Now, everybody wants to jump right into kettlebell swings, and that's great, but smart lifters will take extra time to practice slow lifts to really groove the proper hip hinge pattern. The kettlebell deadlift is the obvious place to start, but I really think the belly hinge is the missing piece in the kettlebell swing learning progression, and that's why I wanted to make this video first before the full kettlebell swing tutorial guide. Anatomically, the belly hinge looks much like a deadlift or kettlebell swing. The butt travels back, the knees bend slightly, feet stay rooted, and the spine remains neutral. The obvious difference is where and how you hold the kettlebell, which does offer a few key training advantages. You'll grip the horns of the handle much like a goblet squat, and push the bottom of the bell into the top abdominal area. Inhale through the nose and brace the abs against the kettlebell. As you hip hinge, think of the arms as performing an isometric row. The elbows are actively driving back while the shoulders are pulled down with the lats. Taken together, this core and upper back engagement keeps the spine in strong, safe alignment. The goal with any hip hinge drill is to find that sweet spot where the hamstrings feel stretched while the feet remain rooted and balanced. Squeeze the glutes to come back up to a strong lockout, being mindful not to overextend at the hips. You want to avoid folding where the torso simply collapses forward without a simultaneous backward travel of the hips. To that end, here are some more tactical cues and variations to help you master the hip hinge. The wall tap drill is a classic way to find your hip hinge pattern. Simply take a small step away from a wall, feet at hips width, and push back until your butt makes contact. To keep the hinge from turning into a squat, simply stand in front of a bench or step, preventing the knees from shifting forward. Another gem from Dan John's coaching toolbox is what he calls the magic drill. Place a band around the legs just over the knee line. Elevate your toes on small weight plates. Perform the hinge as usual while pushing the knees out against the band. These two additions will really help you find your hamstrings and make it obvious when you're simply folding at the torso. Try out the tall kneeling hinge to simplify the technique, or if you feel your low back starting to fatigue. By removing the need for ankle and knee control, you can really hone in on the sensation and feeling of hip extension. Most kettlebell work keeps our feet at hips width or wider. I like to train in a variety of stances, and the belly hinge allows us to do just that. See how your hinge feels with a more narrow stance, working all the way in to heels touching. This belly position can also be applied to yield one of my very favorite variations on the single leg deadlift. Finally, you can perform all of these drills in a higher position by actually holding the kettlebell bottoms up at chest height. Try this position if your grip or low back fatigues. If you're a new kettlebell lifter or otherwise using the belly hinge as part of your warm-up, I suggest staying on the light side. 12 to 16 kilos should be plenty for most people. Of course, if you're more experienced or using the belly hinge as a substitute for the swing, feel free to go heavier, but of course, at a certain point, your grip will become the limiting factor. And finally, here is a Dan Johns staple workout, the Butt Blaster 5000. You'll simply perform 10 hinges followed by 10 goblet squats, then 9 and 9, 8 and 8, and so on down to 1 rep each. And that'll burn your biscuits. So there you have it. Dan Johns' Bulgarian Goat Bag Swing is a pretty simple exercise, but also a very valuable tool for learning the hip hinge and the kettlebell swing. Thanks for watching the video all the way to the end, and be sure to check the description to learn more about my kettlebell training programs and courses. Here's wishing you all the best in your training, and we'll see you in the next video.